So part 2 of incubuses and succubuses, which is horrifying and an experience that you won't forget for sure. For me, it started with incubuses, which again, incubuses are the male form, succubuses are the female form. And I had a few experiences with, maybe 2 experiences with succubuses that I can recall.
Is this after the incubus in Africa?
Yeah. So, no, let's see. I had one succubus in Africa, and I had one, I don't remember, but some other time in the States.
Do you remember which state it was?
Well, when I got back from the States, I was in Virginia, and that's when I had the most of them. And then I went to Indiana. I was continuing to have them. So
do you think they were in that state, or they followed you?
No, they just
wondering, because some states and countries seem to have more like stuff,
right?
Their history,
which is why it started in Africa. And I actually asked one of the guards, the local guards, the National Guards, and I asked him. I was like, "Is there?" Like, I told him about the experience. I wasn't going to tell like my boss or any Americans, you know, but. He was a good friend of ours, and he would show us, all the local spots and everything. And I asked him, I was like, "Is this a thing in your country? Like, is there witchcraft here?" Because the first time it approached one of us, it was speaking in a native tongue, that the Marine couldn't understand. So he's like, "Yeah, there's witchcraft in some of the villages." He's like, people can flow, and I don't know if I believe that. I'd have to see it, but he's like, there's witchcraft still. Or what you guys would consider witchcraft.
Is it like voodoo, African voodoo, or something else?
I don't know, because I never witnessed it. I mean, that was my only experience with it, and then what he told me. It was a Muslim country, though.
Oh. Okay.
So, but in the villages, there's still like tribal mindset,
Well, the old Muslim stuff really interests us when they worked with jinns and all that stuff. Back in the day. Were they even called Muslim then? I guess not. Arabic?
No, yeah, just general Arabic.
But I don't know anything about the newer stuff.
And you grew up in Israel?
No, I mean, I grew up in Russia, basically. But I did move to Israel and since I was 11, so part of it was there, yeah.
Wow. And Russia. You experienced a lot of cool stuff in Russia, too?
No, not as much. I was more closed off, like.
I see.
So just a few here and there that I didn't know how to explain, but nothing major.
Right.
The thing in Israel, I want you to tell her about it really quick in case she thinks it was something like that, because it was in the shower. It was weird.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, it was like very strange. It felt like something was attacking me physically this time. And my throat was constricted to the point where I felt like sort of a hand was choking me.
But not the one on his shoulder. It's safe.
This one is friendly. The other one was less so. So it's like, I guess it knocked me out, or something knocked me out. At least I lost my consciousness. And then after a while I came in. It was all in the shower, and the water was already cold by then when I came back. And I started throwing up, and I felt bad, like energetically attacked, I guess. But there were like physical traces of the attack too, where there was like
bruises on your throat. He had to wear a scarf.
Yeah, I had to cover it up.
Gosh.
I wasn't comfortable with it, so. And
this happened around the same time, give or take. We were already together, but he was trying to finish up university in Israel. And it was a give or take the same time my citrine thing happened, where the pendant got taken from my neck. So it was weird to me that I lost something got taken to me, and then something was physically done to him.
Yeah. And that sounds very similar to the miscarriage story.
And it was like, I guess in part, I don't know what the real point of it was, really showed us that we don't know what the crap we're talking about when we think we know what's physical or what's possible, you know what I mean? Because neither of those I would have believed had it been anybody else.
No, of course.
And you know what that feels like, You're like, you thought the guy was just dreaming, then you had it, and you're like, oh no, he wasn't just dreaming.
Well, and the throat, if the throat's attacked.
It was physical, like he had bruises, and his mom freaked out and thought it was a demon, and my mom thought it was a demon. And we're not, like, usually believing stuff like that, none of us. I mean, they grew up, again, atheist and stuff. And he had to wear something on his neck. I mean, and he couldn't have done that to himself. I mean, not that he would have, but, you know, even like you
Right.
couldn't use that much pressure on yourself and have it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Talking to the skeptics. When your throat is attacked, it's your throat chakra, and that, of course, is your voice. So usually when your throat's attacked, something trying to stop you from speaking, whether it's speaking your truth or doing something amazing or starting a YouTube channel to talk about these cool things.
He's got a beautiful voice. I always tell him that, and he has this bardic talent in his voice. Like, he can make you. Our friend was eating with us, and he loves food. If he's into something, he can make you. He doesn't mean to do it, want to do it. Like, he ordered this thing. He was like, "It's so good. This is why it's so good." And he was telling her, and then she ordered it. And she's like, "Wait a minute! Oh my God, I'm allergic to that. Wait!" I told the waiter, like, "Stop. Never mind." It's just like. I never understood bards in books until I met him, like how they can really make you do stuff with their voice, like, or make you feel things.
Right.
And he can turn it on and like, but it's not like he doesn't malicious or anything. It's just
No,
like he really feels it.
Yeah.
And so I guess somebody saw that as a threat. Sorry, Slappy.
Interesting. Where did we leave
Incubus is,
off?
I was wondering if you thought that was
Yeah.
like, because it was, I guess, the shower.
Well,
Do you think the shower?
I don't know. You know, I mean, there's so many different types out there. And then there's also the dead, you know, so.
You said the shower made yours worse when you did that spell. Do you think it was because, that's why I was thinking, I knew I had a connection with it, because you did that in the
Well, nothing happened until I went to bed, though. So I did get a spooky feeling, but nothing happened. I was attacked or anything, you know, until I fell asleep. Because I don't really know how they work, you know. I mean, we could look through demonology.
It'd just be interesting to know, because you said about being between, when that sleep paralyzation, you talked in the last episode about being between sleep and wakefulness.
Yeah.
The shower almost reminds me of another transitional between space, because water's coming, you know, from the thing, it's going to go down the drain,
Right.
you're in the middle. And Gomez talks a lot about, in other things we've done, the between, right? How it's a powerful,
Yeah.
whether
that
it's,
seems really aggressive. It's
yeah.
for something to get that aggressive, it was really trying to make a point. You know, I've had my throat attacked once before. It was from like inside out though.
Ooh.
It just felt like a lump of coal. You know, because again, something was trying to shut me up. Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, the shower could, and because he got knocked out, you know, maybe.
But the between, it just made me think about that.
Yeah,
Like the whole,
no, you're right. But I mean, that's how most entities try to get in or try to get through to us, is in that in between stage.
And there's in betweens in you say the closet was a between, sort of?
Yeah.
Like, there's so many betweens that can be used, I guess, that are the same. Like, that's why kids see monsters under the bed or in the closet, because it's like another. Why is that between?
Well, it's like a stage because, like, you know, you're between, say, between work and leisure. You are in the process of undressing. You're putting it like the clothes in there. So it's like a sort of a transit station where one activity switches for another. So
I see.
that kind of thing.
That's my that's part of my nightly ritual. Is I look in the closet and in my bed still to this day.
Yeah.
I'm like a full grown up, but I don't care.
Hey, it's all right.
Like, anyway, so
So what were your succubus experiences?
I mean, they're just the same. They were the same.
The chest, the feeling on the
Yeah,
chest.
like there's just the pressure.
You saw a woman, though. You knew it was like.
Yeah, well, so the first one I knew it was a woman because there was like a flowing skirt, and which is weird because I never really noticed clothing on them, but this one had clothing for some reason. She wasn't like, nothing up here. It was just a skirt. It was pink too. Usually they're just like black forms or whatever, you know. So
It doesn't always. It's
she
interesting
had,
to know.
long black flowy hair too. It was like there was a fan in my room because like it was flowing.
Did you feel air or just see it?
It was like fluttering. It was like it's usually like that. I think it's because my eyes are moving and it maybe even opening and shutting, so there's more light that comes in. I don't really know. You know, I would have to feel myself. Actually, that would be cool. Then again, I'd be inviting that back into my life, you know, and I never know when it's gonna come. So I have had experiences since then, and one of them is the most recent. It was a year ago, and I was drinking heavily, and I was really depressed, and oh, I just felt something that was weird. And I went to bed one night, and it, there's more to this story, but I'll just talk about the incubus part. I felt like something's here right now.
Oh my God.
Okay.
I don't care.
Can you just like turn it off for a second?
You want some tar water?
No, I feel like... Okay, we're back. That was strange.
We had to take a pause for the cause, and while we were gone, you guys, the TV turned itself on, and I wish you could have seen it, because I was like, people never believed me, but it did, and no one was touching nothing.
I used some tar water for the first time, so that's... I got really lightheaded there. That was strange. Still there. Okay, let's just move on. So... I was sleeping.
Gone, bad spirits. No
right. I was sleeping, and I got attacked, and I had gotten attacked earlier that week. Actually, I saw a rape scene on TV, and it brought back memories of mine because the actress responded the same way I responded when it was happening to me, and so it was just very real, and I was very in that moment, and I was trying, to get attacked. And if I tell this to a counselor, they'd be like, well, you're just reliving your experiences, you're having nightmares about them. I'm like, I think, it seems like it's more than that,
And sometimes people do, and they're right. But
Yeah,
like you said,
absolutely.
when it's more than that, you feel it. I'm sure you have had
Well, you feel
nightmares.
it, and then
Yeah, I'm sure you
if
have
it's
actually had them
attaching-
both, and you know the difference.
Yes, exactly. And if it's attaching to people around you that are also
That don't even
vulnerable.
know what's going on.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Some of my best tells are when other people have no idea,
Mhm.
and then they experience. Like I told you last time when she said, "Who's in here? Who is that?" or whatever.
Right.
When Karen Ennis was, and I'm like, okay, well, not in my head, and you can tell, and it's like validation that.
right.
Because I think it's when people start to doubt themselves that I think maybe it gives them more power. Not the person doubting, but the
No, yeah, I know what you mean.
because
Yeah.
if you decide, oh, the shrink's right, and I'm crazy,
Mhm.
and then
And there's so many
probably-
times when I thought that because I'd rather that be the case.
Well, yeah, I can fix
Yeah.
me. I can't get rid of the spirit
Right.
if I don't know how.
Exactly.
And I mean, like, do you feel that when they want to pill you up, to dull you out, that it gives them more power somehow? Because
Oh, yeah.
I would think it should, but I
Well,
haven't
'cause they're
experienced.
here to destroy our lives. People that commit suicide, I'm sure they've dealt with a lot. Have dealt, it can be a big reason for a lot of people's suicides.
I can
Is
imagine.
they're being mentally and psychologically attacked, and a lot of those attacks can come from the spirit world
Mhm.
because the devil or the demons or whatever, they're here to destroy. They're not our friends, and but they try to make it seem like they are. They
Did
try
you-
to get our trust.
You didn't seem like you felt the succubuses were your friends, did you?
No, I didn't. So, okay, so this night, this was a different experience. It was an incubus, and I was in bed, and it started attacking me, and it was like for 2 hours, and it was in like a really deep sleep though, so I kept coming. As soon as I'd wake up and get it off, I'd fall right back asleep, and I was just coming in and out of it constantly, and it was so aggressive, and I just was like, I give up. I'm done. Like, I'm not gonna keep fighting you. I just want to go to sleep. So I gave it permission, and I felt it like inside of me.
That's when you said about the euphoria and
Yeah.
like,
And it was amazing. It was absolutely, it's just nothing like it. And I can feel it like through my whole body.
I know someone else who experienced that. And sometimes it was when she was awake and would do something. I don't want to name names or get into, but I want to share because for you've given enough. I want to give back and to people
Yeah.
out there. It was a sexual act, and she thought she just liked doing things on the edge that were bad.
Right.
But this guy she was friends with, and they had a thing off and on, whatever. And he had a girlfriend, and she did not like the girlfriend. Or the ex-girlfriend at the time, it was something, and she had sex with him while the girl was on the phone. And she got really high off that because she didn't like her. But she said she was high for days, and I'm thinking now it's sounding like the incubus or succubus rode that, because that's cool. You can be like, haha, didn't like her, I got mine on, whatever, but days and that kind of high, it sounds like what you're talking about. And so I didn't think it was natural, but I honestly, until right now, thought it was kind of just something in her head too that she gave herself. But it seems like a bit much. I mean, it seems like
I don't know.
I don't know how somebody's going to do that. I mean, going back to what you're saying, it seems like it was more what you're talking about, because it was about a sexual thing.
Yes, and those entities are incubus.
And you're going to get that euphoric just from, I mean, I accepted what she said because I didn't know better, but now I'm thinking, like, okay, for days, just because you did that and you didn't like her, I mean, she didn't, like, hate her guts, and the girl didn't even know what happened. You know what I'm saying? So that's cute, but you're going to be that high for that long seems more like what you're talking about.
Yeah, sure. Well, I didn't experience that quite. Like, I wasn't high, you know, it was just...
Well, euphoria, like, whatever,
right,
she used that term, but it's just... it sounds kind of, and I don't know, I mean, nobody knows what she experienced for her, but it just sounded, it made me think of that.
Yeah, for sure. Sounds like it.
What did you, I mean, what?
The next couple days, I had just gotten out of a relationship, and so I was lonely, and it wasn't like I wanted the relationship to end. It was, you know, it wasn't going to go anywhere, but it was still like, it was lonely because he was also my best friend, and I had isolated, you know, I wasn't talking to my normal girlfriends or whatever because I was always around, you know, the boyfriend I was dating. So I was home alone all the time, and you know, I was lonely. And anyway, once I was inside, I could hear it. It would talk to me. It would comfort me. It would like comfort me, like, it's okay. I'm here for you. Like, you don't ever have to be alone again. It was like giving me thoughts like this, and I did. I felt comforted, and I was like, okay, this is not okay. This is wrong, you know. But I wasn't afraid to go to sleep because it's like, I'll protect you. You don't have to worry about, you know, getting attacked in your sleep anymore. And it was like, I felt better, you know. And
now this is the one who was attacking you.
Yeah.
And then he flipped it around to, you don't have to worry about being attacked because I'm here.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. It was a mind game. Like, that's what I mean. Like, they attack you psychologically, and I had a friend reach out to me. She's very spiritual, and I told her, she's like, Megan, this is what they do. Like, of course, you know, he's lying to you. He's trying to get in your head. And then, sure enough, like, I got extremely suicidal, like, extremely. And he was like, you know, it can all end. You can come be with me. It was like, it's stuff like that. I was like, oh, like, you know, and my friend just reached out to me out of nowhere. And there was a Bible that I had found in my mom's belongings, and I had it sitting on my bedstand. I hadn't opened it. I was like, I was done with God. I was done with, you know, all my religion, and because it seemed like I had been abandoned, you know. Like, where was he when all this bad stuff happened to me? Where is he now that I'm being attacked at night? Where is he? He's not here for me anymore, you know. So I just, whatever.
Natural, yeah.
And but I left the Bible at my bedstand because I still thought like it had some form of power of protection. And my mom passed away years ago, like 3 years ago, 4 years ago now almost.
I'm sorry.
Thank you. She, again, like I said, she's very spiritual. She was a Jesus follower, you know, and this Bible, she was a chaplain, and it was like a little white Bible, so I thought it was like a Bible that she'd pass out to people. So my friend who had just reached out to me out of nowhere, she was like, Megan, the prayers that your mother said about you are not affected by time. They're still working today. And I was like, whoa. And I was sitting on my bedstand contemplating suicide. Like, I was done. Like, I had figured out exactly how I was going to do it. I was ready. And I picked up the Bible when she said that. I just felt compelled. I picked up the Bible. I opened it. It was marked. And it was marked to Deuteronomy 30, which talks about blessings and curses. Because in my mind, I was cursed, you know? So I was like, oh my gosh, like, this is what I'm thinking. And then it talks about choosing life or death. And I realized that this was my mom's personal Bible, actually, because she had written all over it. And she had circled choose life. And then at the bottom, in capital letters, she wrote choose life. And I was like...
It's like a message.
Yeah, exactly. And she probably did that 5 years prior, you know, when she used the Bible. But I was getting that message on the day I needed it, when I was ready to like go up to a mountain with a shotgun. You know, and I read that and I was like, okay, I don't feel this. I don't feel like I don't want life. It wasn't like miraculous that second I wanted life all of a sudden. It wasn't like that at all. But I knew that I needed to be alive for something. And I knew that there was hope. And I knew that there was something on the other side that was fighting for me. You know, and so I told my friend all this. And she's like, Megan, I work with this woman. She's an NDA, a near-death experience woman. She's like, she can get rid of this. She does this all the time. And I was like, okay, do I have to fly there? Or like, what? She's like, no, she can do it over the phone. Just, you know, go somewhere that you feel safe. And, you know, she can do this. Oh, back up. I forgot. I went to see a priest, actually. It was the same priest that got rid of it before. Not the one that got rid of it, but the one that was, he was helping, he was there, you know, praying over me as well, but he wasn't the exorcist. The exorcist, actually, from before, he had had an affair with someone in this church, in the Catholic Church.
Oh, wow. Oh, my God.
He was such a good priest. Oh, my gosh, he was amazing.
Why don't they just let
They
them?
need to let them, yeah, they need to let them get
really,
married. It's ridiculous.
You're still doing what you're doing
Yeah.
well. I
It's
don't care what you do in
it's
the
awful.
bedroom as long as
Yeah.
it's not a little kid.
Exactly.
I mean, Lord.
So I was talking to this priest and I was like, could you just, like, I told him everything that had happened, and he prayed over me, and as he was praying, he brought somebody else from his church, because, you know, they don't want to do those things alone. So they were praying over me, and it started attacking my throat, like I said, but it was from the inside out. So, like, because it was inside of me, and it was, like, choking me, and it was trying to, like, shut me up. And I started coughing, and I started, like, dry heaving. And the priest stopped immediately. He's like, okay, I thought this was something like before, like something attached to you, but there's something, like, dwelling in you. He's like, I can't do anything without a team. So, and he's like, and they can only do them every 2 weeks because they gotta, like, recuperate and make sure they're okay and nothing's, like, haunting them, you know? So he's like, I think it was like 3 or 4 weeks out.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, I can't wait that long.
Yeah, really.
Like, you don't understand, like, this thing's in me. I gotta get it out, you know? And so that's when I told my friend, and she got me to talk to this near-death experience woman. She's like, you know, go to a safe place. I went to a safe place, to a friend's house who's, you know, spiritual, very Christian. And I went into a spare bedroom, actually, that my mom stayed in often, so I felt, you know, safe. And I put on one of her shirts. Because she was such a holy woman, I just needed all that I could get. And she did it, and she said she could see it. She said it was really ugly. Oh, and that's the other thing. When it, you know, that night, it let me change its form until I was happy with the way it looked.
How did it look originally?
It just wasn't very, I don't even remember. I think it was just, it looked like a human, but it wasn't my type, I guess. And he'd let me, like, I'd smash his face, and every time I bring it up, it'd look different. And it was so weird. And
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, and again, this is in the dream state.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd smash his face, and you know, but she's like, it's really ugly, Megan. And she's like, it looks like a demon. It doesn't have a human form. And I was just like, oh, you know, and so she cut it off of me, and she said there's also, like, a porthole on your back, like, and I think that's how these things have been, you know, able to communicate with you, and, you know, you're open to it. So she got rid of that as well. And then, and then my spiritual happenings after that were they were still scary, but they were of the light, you know. They were good. They were my ancestors. I was back in the light, I call it, you know, where I was still open to all those things, maybe even more so, but it was like they were good experiences.
I just want to tell you, we have worked with a lot of people. We've had stuff ourselves, but he's a hypnotherapist, numerologist, rune reader, and I'm an intuitive, and we worked with a lot of people who have been abused and have been through stuff in rape and everything, and I cannot claim to understand that, and I won't. But I just want to tell you how amazing and strong you are.
As I'm shaking.
I mean, no, you don't understand. You're supposed to be shaking. You're supposed to be upset. It's not that you don't feel it.
Mhm.
It's even cooler that better makes you more awesome that you do feel it and do the right thing anyway. I know a lot of the people that we have worked with, and correct me, Gomez, if you disagree, that would have ended it because they didn't feel better. The words didn't make them suddenly, like you said, I just suddenly saw the light and didn't feel that way anymore. I felt like I wanted to live. Like you said, you didn't feel that. They would expect it or else it's done. Too bad.
Right.
And you don't understand, sometimes you have to do it and then feel it.
Yeah.
And we told them this until we're blue in the face, and they think their feelings are law. Who cares? I'm not feeling it, so I'm not going to do it.
Right.
And it's stronger, a much stronger person to feel not cool and do it anyway.
Right.
And you don't understand how strong that makes you, because we've seen so many that won't, because they don't feel it and they're not going to do it. And you go, you know, too bad, woman up, you know, and do it. But it doesn't matter that I don't feel it. I have to do it. I'm supposed to be here. I have stuff to do. And you don't understand how. I hope you do if you don't. But amazing that makes you, because you have to go against the feelings, and that takes strength.
Right.
And the fact that you even put the Bible near you and cared anymore after what it was doing
Exactly.
to you, you have to realize you are like Superwoman. That is awesome. So many would not let that get through, especially when the voice is in there talking at that point. You
Right.
are amazing, and you're a hero to yourself and others, and you need to understand that. I realize how corny that sounds because I'm a mortician and I don't say gooey stuff. But I just want you to know that whenever comes a point that you're not feeling like you're strong, that you're feeling like it's over your head and, you know, this tidal wave, and you're not strong, that you really are.
Thank you.
And when you feel that and you know that and
Yeah.
you do it anyway,
Mhm.
you know, you are.
Yeah.
You're amazing, and they can't, you know, because you do it anyway.
Appreciate that. Yeah. Yeah. And that's what makes you a survivor. That's what you have to
You
do
don't
to
feel
survive.
it, you just do it, and then you feel
Yeah.
it, you know?
Mhm.
You just,
Yeah.
and
Just
so
know
many.
you're gonna think it eventually. You're
Yeah,
gonna get there
I will. It
eventually.
will be real one day. It
Yeah.
doesn't have to be real right now. It
Right.
could be real in 5 minutes,
Mhm.
but it's, you know, you do it.
Yeah.
And you heard those messages, and you cared, and you did it.
Yeah. Thank you.
And you're amazing. And most are not like you, and you're strong. And I hate to say this because I don't know what to tell you. Maybe Gomez has an insight. But I think you could fix this. Well, fix is the wrong word to say.
Mhm.
You could improve your fortifications against these attacks if you start using your power more. And I know that sounds really vague. I'm not as good of a psychic as he is, but there's stuff you're supposed to be doing, like practicing. And I don't mean like,
No, I do know exactly what you mean.
okay, I don't mean like you have to start
yes.
Wicca or
Yeah.
I'm saying whatever your
Yeah.
path is, you need to be using some abilities more, because that's another thing. They'll get you from the inside. And if you're not using your powers, they'll,
No, I agree.
you know the Harry Potter
Yeah.
Obscurus, if you saw the Fantastic Beasts movies, if
Uh-huh.
you did or didn't.
Oh, no,
but-
no, but I know of them.
Okay, well, Obscurus is a magic that if you don't use it, if you're the wizards are afraid to use it, it starts turning on them and exploding outward, and you know, like whatever. It's not really like that,
Right,
but it's just if you don't use your ability, let's just say someone else will,
right.
and you are very gifted. Like I just feel it coming off of you in waves, and you just beautiful energy, pure, good, and you need to use it. Use that.
Yeah, after all this happened, I went on a spiritual quest to find it, and I found it.
Well, good.
Yeah, I did.
Just
I went to
use it
Ireland,
every day.
found it.
Ireland is awesome. I
Yeah.
want to go so bad.
Yeah. Okay, I know. We're
I know, we're way over.
All right, thank you for joining us and listening to my strange
you.
stories.
Strange but true.
Strange but true.